Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this Sunday afternoon, ready for another edition of Talking Sports Sunday, where we're going to be doing a comparison between AJ I think that's his name, and Cooper Flagg, also the AFC and the NFC championship games today. And we're going to talk a little bit about our roster portals and to give our thoughts and the thoughts on some of the other teams in the college football rankings that did pretty good in the portal as well. Thanks for joining us. I got my man, SEC Sean, in the building with us today. How you feeling, SEC Sean?
Good. Still, this is probably the most snow I've ever seen in my life. Being, originally from Houston down there, I mean, this is crazy. I don't think we've seen this much in the whole 5 years I've been up here.
That's for sure. We also got our man, One Tank Zaya, in the building with us. How you feeling, bro? We surely missed you.
I'm good, man. Like I was telling you off screen, I've been on a mental health vacation, been in therapy, just working through some life issues, nothing too major, but just want to be a better me, and I encourage everybody out there, if you got issues, you don't really necessarily got somebody unbiased to talk to, go do that, man, because we look down at it through the community that I come from a lot, but I'm telling you, it works wonders.
Man, facts, bro, facts. I did the same thing from 2013 to 2015, bro. Listen, it works freaking wonders. You have no idea, people. Even if you don't feel some kind of way, go do it. And I guarantee you're going to feel like a better human being after you do it. That's for sure. Let's talk a little bit about these games today, man. We got the AFC championship game. What do you think are the keys for each team in this championship game in the NFC, the Rams versus the Seahawks?
You hit it. You hit it first.
I mean, listen, this is going to be a great game. I think Darnold is playing a little better. I know the Rams, they lost one of their offensive linemen, one of their key offensive linemen in this game. I want to see, Stafford got banged up the last game. I want to see if it affects him throwing the ball a bit. But I think the key to this game is definitely going to be the turnovers. Like, who's going to take care of the ball? We've been seeing this the whole playoff so far. Turnovers been real prevalent in this playoff thus far. So I'm gonna get an edge to the Seahawks in that turnover category. I think Sam Darnold has been taking care of the ball very well, and I just like the balance that offense has right now. So I think the key to this game is who can take care of that football and not give the other team multiple chances, man. So I'm looking for a great game, though, between both of these teams. These is whoever win this game, I think, can definitely. I think either one of these teams, all the teams we got left, I think anybody can win it all. So, but I think the winner is really probably coming out of this game, honestly.
Yeah, that was my thought on it too. That this is more of the Super Bowl matchup to me. You are right; any of them can win it, of course, but I think these are the two more dominant teams versus the other two. I've been going back and forth on this game. I like Stafford and his experience, but again, how does he bounce back from getting beat up a little bit? Darnold, a little younger. The experience factor obviously leans towards Stafford and probably the Rams in general. But I think if Seattle can get the running game going and take some pressure off Darnold, I think Seattle's got the better defense. plus they're at home. That's a pretty, rough place to play. So I'm going to lean the Seahawks in a really good, competitive, close game. I'm going to lean the Seahawks. I would really like the Rams to win just because their coach has a better name than the coach from the Seahawks. But that's just kind of biased on my part.
Yeah, my key for the Rams is, can their offensive line handle the defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks, man? The Seattle Seahawks got a nice rotation with their defensive front, man, and they are really, really good. I mean, they are really, really good. Are they going to be able to run the football with Williams? That's going to be able to open up some things for the wide receivers, Adams and Nakua, and some of the other players out there. Are they going to be able to do that? And I don't know, man, because even on the back end, Seattle is really good too. They have a really, really good defense, probably one of the best defenses that's left in this playoffs. Can the Rams do that? And can Sam Darnold just manage the game well enough? And can their offensive line open up holes for Walker and on that outside zone runs that he likes to do? And they can control the run game in that way to keep Stafford on the sideline as much as possible. Those are the keys to me. The trenches, as usual in most games. Whose trenches can muster up enough of an advantage for the other team to be able to make some plays offensively. I think that's probably the two keys for these two teams because they both got solid defenses. Seattle, I think, has a better one, but I think they got the better quarterback, the more veteran quarterback in Stafford. What are your keys to victory in the game between the AFC Championship game between the Patriots versus the Broncos, who will be playing without Bo Nix?
What my take on this one is, Sean Payton is a hell of an offensive mind. That I think. What does he have with a backup quarterback? How prepared is he? I think he'll be pretty prepared. I like Denver's defense a lot too. New England's had a good defense too. This one's at Denver. Obviously, I mean, like it's easy to mention. I mean, turnovers. I mean, we saw what the Patriots did to the Texans. So turnovers will be a huge part in this game, like it is in all the games. But my key is what do you get from a backup quarterback, Stidham? Does everybody else rally around him on the team? Or do they go in kind of, well, we're with a backup. We're not supposed to win, How do they react around him? Who steps up to help him make the plays he needs? Because the kid's got talent. I'm going to tell you, I've seen the kid since high school. He's good. But who around him is going to step it up to take some of the pressure off of him? So that's my key for the game for that one.
Yeah, I think the Broncos defense just got to step up tremendously in this game. You just need their best performance in the year in this game. And kind of like what Sean was saying, Sean Payton is a great quarterback coach. I think he'll put Stidham in good positions, but you need guys like Evan Ingram to have a better game. You need RJ Harvey to have a better game. You need guys like Cortland Sutton to make plays. You just need everybody around Statham to make plays around him so he don't feel like he got to go out there and win the game. Now, if you got a position to win the game at the end of the game, that's all you can ask for if you're the Broncos. And as far as for the Patriots, I think you got to lean on Travion and what's the other kid's name? The other running back, Stevenson. You got to lean on both of those guys. And I know Drake May, MVP candidate. I know he's been balling out of control this year, but I think if you're the Patriots, the Broncos have an island over there. You don't want to throw on one side of the field. So I think you just need to establish the run, kind of move them safeties up, and then attack anybody opposite of Surtain to win this game. And I think those are the keys. I don't think neither one of these teams should go into the game asking their quarterbacks to carry them to a victory.
Yeah, I like every point that both of you have made so far. I think it's really going to be key for Sean Payton to be able to put Stidham in the best possible situation that he could put his backup in, but it has to start with they got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to run the football to be able to give him some of the throwing options that you want him maybe to have, the easy throws to where he can just play pitch and catch and not have to rely on him to have to make big plays for you. And I agree with you, Fanduzea, when you say that they got to use Henderson and Stevenson in that run game as well to go ahead and keep that Broncos defense guessing what's going to happen with them. And if you can run the football, you can really make that happen, because once those safeties have to start coming up, maybe you can find an opportunity to throw over the head over the cornerback on the other side. I don't know if you want to mess with Surtain too much.
You don't want to mess with him.
Yeah, I think you don't mess with him too much. But I think both of these teams, it's going to be a really good game, man. And I think both of them, as long as we got an opportunity at the end of the game to win it, whether or not we got to drive down the field and get a field goal or touchdown, or whether or not we got to make a stop, I think both of these teams want to be in at least in that position to be able to do so. And I think that's going to be key for both of them to make sure that they play really, really solid defense and they don't give up any other big plays and make a whole bunch of mistakes, turning the ball over, stuff like that.
Yeah, hey, and looking out my window, I wonder what it's like in Denver today. You know, I didn't do no research on that, but I wonder what it looked like out there.
Yeah, I'm quite sure they're going to give us a glimpse of it at some point on the TV. I'm anxious to see that as well, man, because they don't play in the dome. Are they about to build a dome, or they don't play in the dome, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. But are they planning on building
actually
a dome?
not bad.
That ain't bad right now? Okay, that's cool.
There's 20 degrees, 1 to 2 inches of snow expected.
Yeah, what's the wind? What's the wind looking like out there? I wonder, if it come down to a last field goal, 50 yards
an hour from the south.
Oh, that ain't bad. So we got great football weather. It sounds like
right. You got good, cool, crisp weather. Snow. But both these teams should be used to that.
Yeah.
So it's not like you get a Miami team versus a northern, so the snow shouldn't affect you, especially only 1 to 2 inches in Denver. They can handle that pretty well. Doesn't look like the wind's going to be a factor. So what time is that game?
I want to say
is that the early game?
3 o'clock. Yep. It's
3 o'clock.
The snow's not even supposed to start in Denver till about 5 to 6.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So
cool. What did y'all think about AJ DePonce's game last night? Yesterday, he dropped 43. He broke the all-freshman record at BYU, breaking Danny Ainge's record of 36 points in a game by a freshman in their victory over Utah yesterday. And is AJ and Flagg a good comparison? And how are their games similar and different?
Real quick before we jump on that, since we did the other one, let me throw this out real quick. Seattle looks like completely dry, just cool weather, like in the 30s. So doesn't look like weather should play a factor in any one of these games.
Cool.
We talking about AJ? Yeah, dude, there was some freshmen went off yesterday in all of college ball. AJ went off. You had the kid from Illinois went for 46 against Purdue.
Yeah, he nice.
The point guard from Arkansas. If y'all ain't seen that dude play, I want to say A-Cuff or something like that. He a freshman. He went for 33, I think, last night.
Yeah, you know, Cal always got him a guard. He always got him a guard.
And always a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of great performances yesterday by especially freshmen that kind of stole the headlines. Is AJ and Flagg a comparison? I mean, probably. They're similar. Both can kind of do a little bit of everything. There's not like, they can both handle the ball. They both can rebound. They both can play D. They both can shoot. So it's probably a good comparison. Maybe Boozer is another comparison, but I think this is a better comparison with AJ and Flagg.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at both of their games, they definitely both are well-rounded, Sean, like you said. But I will say they're different, total opposites in my opinion. I think mentality plays a role in what type of kid you got as a basketball player. And what I mean by that, when I look at Cooper Flagg, he give me more like LeBron James type of vibes, like out there on the court. He's not going to be a kid that is hunting his shot. He's not going to be he's just going to be a playmaker. He's going to get to his spots. You're going to see a lot of transition game within his game. But when I look at AJ, man, I look at it, I just see a killer. Anytime he touched the ball, he trying to put the ball in the basket, and that's what you see from him. And that's just a mentality thing. But at the end of the game, you got both of them on the floor. You can expect the stat sheet from both of them, and that's what I like. So I just think if you line these two dudes up in the draft, and we have yet to see if AJ gonna do it in the NBA, because we could say he's gonna be good in the NBA, but you got to see it. You got to see it first, And what we've been seeing from Cooper for the last month and a half, Cooper looked like he gonna be the hottest thing since sliced bread. He been balling out of control. So we got to still see it from AJ on that level. But if you was to have a draft, it would just be a preference thing. Do you need a for sure guy that is going to put the ball up and be ultra aggressive, or do you want a more balanced style type of approach and Cooper Flagg? Both about 6'9", both can handle the rock, both can get it off the board, push it. And it really neither one. When you talking about guys like this, you splitting hairs. Neither one really got flaws in that game. The only thing you could possibly say with Coop is his three ball ain't there yet. But even that's been kind of turning on lately on the NBA side. And AJ, the only flaw I kind of see with him is when he drive left, he don't never pull up. He goes straight to the rim every time. So, I mean, it's just little stuff like that. And just over the years, once they, especially AJ, once they become professionals and this is their job, they'll perfect their craft. They'll add something every summer. Guys like that, though, you just splitting hairs, and it's just a mentality thing that you splitting with.
Yeah, this was my first time really watching AJ play yesterday, outside of some highlights here and there. And you said something about him. He got that killer mentality. Yeah, bro, he definitely has that, where Coop, like you said, is more of a guy who is probably more team-oriented. If he has to keep the ball in his hand and get buckets, he can do that too. But he's more of a guy that you'll see him create for other players as well. Not that AJ can't do that. We just probably haven't seen him have to do that yet. But I like both of their games, man. Their size, their ability to handle the basketball, their ability to create buckets for themselves, all of those kind of things, man. So I think it's a good comp. I'm anxious to see, like what you said, how AJ is going to develop in the NBA. I think he's going to be good, but I want to see, like you said, what is he going to add each summer to his game, and same for Flagg too. What is he going to add each summer to his game now that he's playing on the highest stage that you can play on, which is the NBA?
If y'all had to choose one, who would y'all pick?
I take Flagg. I like. You said it prime. Flagg is more of a. I'm gonna get my points, but I need to work myself into the flow of the game and get other people involved. And I think that's more to me. Plus you look at what Flagg's been doing. You mentioned it in the last month and a half. He's been tearing it up. Well, he ain't even had nobody really around him yet either. AD been out for most of the year. Kyrie ain't back yet. I mean, he's having to pretty much carry this team completely. There's some pieces. Don't get me wrong, Marshall and Max Christie and stuff like that. But I don't know. I like Cooper's Flagg all around, mentality more or less. Not that being a killer is a bad thing, but I like the way Flagg plays the whole trying to get other people going first.
Man, when you first asked the question, I said, well, my mentality is more, I want a player who is more of a guy who's going to get everybody else involved, not necessarily the killer. But then when I said killer in my head, I thought about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, right? And I'm thinking like, shit, man, I want to be a killer out there, a guy who, when it's down the stretch, it ain't going to be no bones about it. I'm getting the freaking rock and I'm putting the ball in the hole. So, man, that's a really, really tough choice, man. But I want me a killer who I know night in and night out wants the ball in their hand, and they're going to go out there and will a team to a championship and not necessarily be playing that team ball thing down the stretch, because you want a guy who you can get the rock to and he's going to put that ball in the hole. So I will go with AJ from that standpoint, even though my mentality is to have a player who is more well-rounded, who I know is going to get everybody else involved.
Yeah, see, it ain't got nothing to do with their mentalities for me. I think AJ's just look a little smoother. Everything just look a little more like he ain't even trying hard to do it. And that's why I would take AJ. It just looks smoother.
See, but I'm looking at it like he's doing it against college kids, where Cooper's doing it against NBA.
Yeah,
so
but
that would be my argument to what you just said, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about how I looked at Cooper Flagg last year, though, not just what I'm seeing from him this year. Like AJ shouldn't even be in college right now, bro.
Right.
Like he should be in the NBA. That's why they need an exception for certain guys, bro. He should not be out there.
Right. Well, just go to the G League for a year and then you can come back to college. Isn't that how it works now?
Exactly. I mean, it looked like that's the route that a lot of people try. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but a few people are trying to go now. We got this option out here. We can do this. And that option is really starting to really trickle down into the college football level too.
Yep.
Kind of, sort of, I guess. Let's talk about that a little bit. What you just said, FanDuel Zaya, about in certain cases there should probably be an exemption for certain guys. AJ should be probably an exemption, man. Boozer might be an exemption. The guy who went off yesterday, who y'all talked about, he might be an exemption. Do you think that that's something that the NBA will eventually be able to navigate?
I don't know. It's tough to think about stuff like that just because we're not in the room with the decision makers. But it's only hopeful thinking for me. I feel like it just needs to be an application process, man, where it come across somebody's desk that make decisions, and it'd be like, man, this guy is 6'9", 230. He done led probably the under-18 USA team to a gold medal already. It just certain accolades that's a kid that had already accomplished. And I just feel like certain guys, even Darian Peterson, I just don't feel like college is doing them no good but wasting time. You 18, it come across your desk. I mean, I know it's going to probably hurt some guys in the long run, but still, this is a decision that, that these kids and their families is trying to make. And if you give them the opportunity and they trust in it and they believe in their game and their athleticism and all that good stuff, just let them do it, man. I'm not saying let everybody, but you can pretty much tell with just the eye test, like what kind of guys kind of belong coming out of high school alone. Like it's just different, you know. It's just different.
Yeah, I mean, I think something along, maybe this is an option. I don't know. Like you said, we're not in there making the rules. Sometimes I wish we were, but that's here nor there. But you've got, go back and you had like, what's the problem with saying, okay, look, if you think you're good enough as an 18-year-old kid out of high school to go to the NBA, put your name in the draft. What's the deal with, okay, well, I thought I was good enough, but I didn't get drafted, so now I want to go to college. Whereas it used to be if you declared for the draft, you didn't go to college. KG, all them people, LeBron. If let's just say, for a weird example, KG or LeBron never got drafted, they fell down the ranks, whatever, then they should be able to go to college. I mean, in this day and age, especially with all this, NIL and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's bring back the letting them go to the NBA right out of the back. I mean, 1 year of college is really, I mean, what are you doing? One and done. That's all you used to hear about with what? Kentucky and Cal? One and done. He got 5 one and dones on the starting 5. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I just say open it back up, let them go. But I mean, I know why the rule came into play was apparently because they wanted to try to make college basketball more exciting by bringing in some of the superstars to college. But they're only there for a year, so what's the point?
Yeah, I would like to see the NBA or however these 18-year-old guys can petition to go to the NBA right out of high school, and then if a team picks them up, like say you have enough players that every team could get one guy to come and play in their summer league, and then at the end of that summer league, you can say to this person, yeah, you ready for this, or no, and they have a process where that happens. And then if the NBA says, no, you got to go back to college for a year, you got to accept that, and you got to go back to college, or you got to go to college. But if the NBA that team feels like, hey, yeah, we're ready for you to be here in this organization, then you could stay. But then even though that team that got that player that they sent back, they probably still own the rights to that guy whenever he decides after his year, or if he decides to go for longer than that, they still own the rights to him. I don't know how it can be done, but something maybe similar to that, to where if a guy does petition to go straight out of high school, he gets to play in the summer league, and then the NBA can decide whether or not this guy is actually ready for this kind of a move.
You know what? And I'm gonna add to you because I like your thought, but I think you thinking down the wrong lane with it.
Probably.
I think they should take these high school kids and allow them to work out. These seniors, allow them to work out with the team, because that way you could throw them in 5-on-5 situations with actual pros, and you can actually get a gauge with it without being the G League. You could run them with your real guys and be like, oh yeah, this guy is ready.
Yeah, I like that even better. For sure. Because I think they need to get a real sample size of what it looks like to actually be in the NBA, and what better way to do that than actually be out there with the real dudes, not the G League cats. That's for sure. What can you tell us about your team's portal moves? Are you satisfied or dissatisfied?
I'm good. I mean, like I said, I want to say yesterday I said, or Thursday maybe, I don't like the fact we didn't go fill our running back room a little more. But I like that we added a receiver. I like the offensive lineman. I like I'm putting my trust in Mike Elko that he knows what holes he had on that team, especially on the lines, especially the defensive line with the run fits and all that. And I trust that he knows what he's doing defensively to go out and plug those holes and fix them. He got a couple of linebackers brought in that are bigger than the Torian York, who I thought was a great player, but he was still undersized. You're bringing in more of these 6'3", 230, 240 guys now. You brought in the safety from Colorado. I like what we've done in the portal. Like I said, I put my trust in Elko based on what I've seen. So we'll see how it plays out. But I like what we've done. What I'm more concerned about for A&M is the coaching changes. Holman Wiggins as the OC, as the first-time OC, kind of has a little nervous. I'm not too worried about the new DC he brought in because Elko's still going to call the defense. So I'm not too worried about that one. But I'm a little worried about the OC position. We'll see how that plays out. But, I mean, people will tell you, you can be an offensive coordinator and people can say he ain't got no experience calling plays. Well, how are you supposed to get experience if nobody gives you the job? So, and he came from Alabama as a wide receiver coach while Saban was out there. So, I mean, I trust Wiggins. But before Zay mentioned his portal class, I do have a question for Zato.
What's up?
Do you like your new OC hire?
I'm optimistic, man. So it's two sides to the fence with me, with Arthur Smith. When I watch Pittsburgh this year, it's kind of gimmicky to me. I don't like gimmicky offenses. But I also understand that he was playing with a quarterback that was on his last leg. So you got to kind of be creative when you got guys that can't move in the pocket and it's kind of on their last leg, ain't giving you the same things that he used to be able to. But one thing I do love about Arthur Smith is I understand that when they get crucial with him, I knew I was getting an Aaron Rodgers to DK Metcalf. You feel me? Every time. And with having Julian Say and Jeremiah Smith returning, I feel like if there's a point in the season where we absolutely need it, I know he's going to focus down that lane. So I cannot be mad about that part. But the gimmicky stuff, we got a few guys in the portal that I think Ryan Day kind of probably knew where we was going with this OC hire before probably everybody else did. And we wasn't even hearing his name until probably maybe three days before we hired this guy. So I think he kind of knew by the receivers we brought in to replace some of the guys we lost. So we'll see how it work out. But I'm optimistic. But I do trust Ryan Day, and we gotta stop questioning Ryan Day. I said this last summer when everybody was talking about Matt Patricia and how he was not a good hire. And I was like, listen, I gotta stop questioning Ryan Day when it comes to this type of decisions because he's been nailing it every time.
It took about 3 games for people to quit that Matt Patricia back talk too.
Yeah,
shit,
man, I got beef with Matt Patricia though. That's another topic. That's another story for another day though.
Tell us about y'all's portal.
Oh, our portal. So, I talked about the receiver room, man. We got a few guys. McEwen out of UTSA, a burner, speedy guy. Kyle Parker out of LSU. Probably the only dude on their team from LSU fan base that could have took the top off the defense last year. Dealt with some injuries. That's Hankton's guy, too. So, he'd pick up and help the other guys on a lot of the teaching that Hankton brings in. We got a running back from Florida for some added depth. I'm pretty pleased with the big portal moves that we got with the 2 guys we got from Alabama. So Q Russell and James Smith. James Smith, one of the top defensive tackles. We needed a 1 tech. He's gonna take K McDonald's spot. We needed that. And Q Russell on the edge. He'd definitely be in the 2 deep. Not sure if he's going to be the main guy opposite Kenyatta right now because I really do like Zion Grady, who was a true freshman last year. But the only part of the portal I think we did not address is cornerback well. I think we needed to bring in somebody that could take IGB's position. IGB, people can say what they want about him, but IGB was a dog, and he was a very physical corner. And I don't know if Devin Sanchez or Jermaine Matthews will be ready to fill that role. Now, we did get this kid Calhoun, who is a Ohio kid. I think he was at Alabama last year. He's just a depth piece, though. I'm not going to trust it. I think he can definitely give you some valuable snaps. I just don't think he's an every down cornerback. And of course, we got Earl Little and Trey Moore in the portal. I think Earl Little is going to be slotted at that nickel spot after losing Bryce West, and we lost somebody else too. Lockhart. We lost Lockhart. Both of those guys was in the running to start nickel this year. So I think they brought in Earl Little to actually fill in that nickel role. And slot Trey Moore. Trey Moore is a Duke kid, so we know he's smart, at the very least. You feel me? And we got him on a bit of a budget, and that's what we did in the portal. We went bargain shopping. We wasn't looking for all the top guys that was like a blank check or a bidding war. We went for guys that was proven, experience on the field. We lost 47 starting snaps with all the guys that left in the portal, but we gained 147 starting snaps. So I mean, snaps period, like overall snaps. So like this is like I don't really mind what we did because in this NIL era, bro, nobody is safe from their 2 deep and 3 deep getting overtook. Because these guys want to be on the field, bro, and if you ain't paying them well enough, they can go somewhere else and get a starting pay and be on the field. So, I mean, I think we handled it right. It sucked that this is the world that we're in because, I watch recruiting for my squad. I'm invested into these guys as a fan. And now I got to follow all these different teams now to see what my guy is doing, and that's the sorry part about it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Texas is concerned, we knew we was going to have a whole lot of holes to fill because we knew we had, like you just said, the guys at the 2 and 3 deep, they were going to be looking for homes where they could go and play and get some bread, and it wasn't a certainty that they was going to be able to do that at Texas. So Texas had a lot of holes to fill, plus they got a lot of players who are going into the NFL draft. The thing I like about them is the fact that they did answer some of the questions on the offensive line. They were able to retain 3 starters from last year in the center and Connor Robinson, the left tackle, and Trevor Gooseby, and then the right tackle in Brandon Baker. And they really need some left guard help now. So I know that's what they're going to be working on, especially if Andre Kojo, who's coming off of an injury from last season, can't fill that void because they lost Nick Brooks, they lost Nate Kibble, and a lot of other guys, Connor Stroh, who were trying to fit into that left guard position before Cole Hudson ended up taking it over. So they did good there. They just got to fill that void right there at left guard. As far as the defensive line is concerned, they were able to fill the voids that were going to be there from guys going on to the NFL and who had also hit the portal. So they got a big guy from Arkansas who can be that one technique or that zero technique for us right over the center. That's going to help us a lot. This new Will Muschamp style of defense because he likes to go with 3 big linemen and then have people like Colin Simmons and them coming off of the edge like a 3-4 style of play. So we did good there. We were able to retain some guys when it comes to that defensive end position, which was good. We wanted to get another guy in the portal, but that didn't happen because the guy from Florida ended up staying where he was at. And then the other guy from Ole Miss decided I think he's going to LSU. So we missed on those 2. We needed to replace some guys at the linebacker position. Big Bo Barnes, who played in the bowl game as a true freshman in that bowl game, filling in for Anthony Hill decided he was going to go hit the portal, and we couldn't talk him out of it. So he ended up going to Kentucky. So we were able to fill the void as far as some guys at the linebacker position. We got two really good guys, but they're not downhill thumpers. So we're going to have to still find somebody in the portal who could be just a downhill guy that see ball, get ball. Especially if we don't have anybody on the roster as of now that can do that. Because we lost Leon LaFau, of course, Anthony Hill to the NFL. So that void there, so they got to get a guy there. We were able to lose a lot of guys in the defensive backfield, but we were also able to get a couple of guys to come back who were going into the portal. We were able to talk them out of going into the portal when Kobe Black, who played really good in the bowl game and played really good against Texas A&M in that last game, but had his troubles throughout the season until those last two games. So he decided to come back, and then we were able to get Derek Williams to come out of the portal and stay at Texas at safety. Somebody we could put alongside Jelani McDonald, which is going to help us a lot because we're losing Taft, and Filsaime might not quite be ready to take on that role, but Derek Williams still has to come back from that ACL injury that he suffered a little over a year ago, 18 months ago. So hopefully he'll be back up to speed this year. He was a little bit slow last year, but we're hoping he can get back to form like he was playing before he suffered that injury in his sophomore year. Hopefully that can be the case for him. As far as wide receiver is concerned, we lost quite a few guys at the wide receiver position, but we were able to fill that void with Cam Coleman. Hopefully that trio of guys with Ryan Wingo, who we were able to re-sign, along with Mosley and Cam Coleman, that could be a really, really nice tandem of wide receivers. And hopefully those young guys who were freshmen last year, we lost Jamie French to Michigan, but hopefully Khalil Lockett and McCutcheon can get up to speed and they can get in that circle of trust and get a little bit more run this year. I like what Khalil Lockett did in the bowl game. Dylan McCutcheon dropped a couple of passes in that bowl game that really could have helped him a lot had he made those catches. So hopefully those guys will be up to speed. Running back, we needed to get some running backs because we lost 5 running backs to the portal. We were able to get two really good guys in the portal. But we need a thumper. We need a guy who, on short yardage situations, we can get a football to. We don't have that on the roster right now, but maybe they're thinking the true freshman, Derek Cooper, is going to be able to come in and do that, much like C.J. Baxter was able to do in his freshman year. I wouldn't want to rely on that, so I'm quite sure they're going to try to find somebody in the portal late in spring that does not have a home that's still out there that they could probably fill that void with. But all in all, I think Texas did pretty good in the portal. They were able to fill a lot of needs that they needed to fill. Of course, that offensive line is going to always be a question mark because of how they played this past season. They didn't play well until towards the end of the season when they were able to go with Connor Robinson at center, Cole Hudson at left guard, Trevor Goolsby, and then DJ Campbell and Brandon Baker. So we'll see what happens with them going forward. What did y'all think about Indiana and what they were able to do? Because they're losing a lot, but it looked like they did pretty good in the portal. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't even really looked at what Indiana did. I know I've heard stuff saying they feel like they filled some needs, but I really didn't keep track of it too much. I mean, I know they got the quarterback from TCU. It is what it is. I mean, I didn't expect him to go there. I thought really Sorsby would go there or something. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to lie, I haven't even really kept up with their transfer portal very much. One thing I wanted to throw in on A&M's portal was I really did, and I forgot to mention this kid, and that's why I want to bring it up. I'm really, really excited for the kid we got out of Tennessee, the cornerback. That kid was a lockdown corner in 24 before he was injured all of last year. That's one of the cornerbacks that was injured all last year, Zay, we talked about.
Yeah.
And if that kid can get back to his 2024 status, I like him on, and then Des Ricks on the other side. So I wanted to bring that kid up real quick too.
I think Indiana. I think Cincinnati he got a recipe. You know, he filled positions that he needed. Probably not the highest notable guys, but highly experienced guys. He got quite a few from lower levels that were ultra productive, and I think he just got a recipe now. He's going to recruit out of the portal 22, 23-year-old kids that were highly productive. And it's not the highest rated guys from smaller schools. So, I mean, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do because this is what he just won a national championship with, you know. So, I mean, we got to wait to see how this group comes together because the original group, a lot of these guys, well, not a lot of them. He only had probably about 6 guys from his school. But regardless, he still had guys that came from a system that he was already in to help bring along the process. So we got to see how this group comes together. But I thought they did what they were supposed to do. Josh Hoover can sling the rock, man. And, you know, I think Kurt Cincinnati knows how to identify talent. So I'm a believer in Cincinnati, and I trust him with what he did, you know. So I'm looking forward to Indiana being another really hard out next year, and I don't expect them to go nowhere.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job in the portal. They jumped on players early that they liked, that they wanted, and I think they did a really good job in the portal. I was kind of concerned about what the younger Mendoza would do once they got Hoover. I thought maybe he would enter the portal because it sounds like he might not have been too happy about that. He wanted to be the next man up coming behind his brother. But I don't think that's going to be the case because you don't bring Hoover in and then you put him in a quarterback battle. So I was anxious to see what he would do, but it doesn't look like he's going to hit the portal. But we got until Tuesday, I think.
He left. He went to Georgia. He committed to Georgia Tech.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad y'all brought me up to speed on that because I didn't notice that.
I know it's hard to follow it all when you're down there in Texas counting all the money y'all paid to all them damn transfer portal people and money getting in the way of y'all.
Hey, listen.
Well, I mean, jealousy runs deep sometimes.
He threw a shot at my Aggies about that one kid who had a good game against them, so I'm coming back with something.
Hey, listen, y'all both in Texas. The same thing you saying to him, I'm going to say to you. You feel what I'm saying? Because y'all playing by a different set of rules. Y'all see, Ohio State is out here bargain shopping. We do not have the type of money y'all have.
You know, one thing I can say for Texas is they finally understand that. Listen, you gonna have to spend this bread, bro. You gonna have to spend this bread. You can't just be sitting on it. You gonna have to spend this bread.
Hey, real quick though. You know, the 4 key signings is Hoover, absolutely. But they also got AJ Harris from Penn State, which was their top corner. And then we all know about Nick Marsh was over there at Michigan State. Nick Marsh is a dog. I'm telling you, he can go. And then they got another kid. He's from a lower tier school. I cannot think of his name. He played edge though. He about 6'6", 275, and he played edge. Oh, he was at Kansas State. I can't think of his name though. He was at Kansas State, but the kid got some good tape. So I think it was 4 key signings for them.
Yeah. Well, what do y'all think about? I don't know if you got to see it, SEC Sean, but FanDuel Zaya sent me a clip of Dabo Sweeney and whatever went down with this linebacker between Ole Miss and Clemson. And I guess he already had signed with Clemson, and then I guess Ole Miss was trying to get him to jump in the portal for $1 million, and then they raised it up to $2 million. Am I correct, FanDuel Zaya?
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that kind of stuff going on in college football? We all agree that it has no place in college football. But isn't it starting to get a little bit ridiculous that this kind of stuff is happening, man? Players are being lured lured out of their contracts that they already signed with a team to come and join them for more money.
I did see it. Give me 1 second. I think the kid you're talking about, Zay, is as soon as this stupid ad will go away. Toby Osunami.
Yeah, that kid is a monster too.
Well, they got him and they got Chidi Obiazor, both from K-State. Both edges from K-State. So, but I think the first one was the one you were talking about because I remember A&M was even making a run at him.
Hey, he's huge, bro.
Yeah, he's big. What was he size? 6'3", 250. Oh, the other guy's 6'6", 275. Okay,
that's the one I'm talking about.
That's the one you're talking about. Then. Yeah, that's big for an edge rusher. Good Lord. I just fall down if I'm the quarterback. Faking injury.
Yeah, listen. I think people got to adopt Dabo and what he did. You got to start putting names and calling this stuff out, man, or nothing's going to get better, bro. And, man, I don't know. Like, the NCAA is just terrible. The NCAA is like the worst organization of all time. I don't think nobody can come to me and tell me a worse organization ran than the NCAA.
Yeah.
Yep. That Dabo, everybody gets on Dabo talking about he whines too much about all this stuff. But now you're starting to see people kind of back him on it. 3 years ago, people were like, man, just quit your whining. This is the new game. This is the new era. And now it's like, you know what? Wait a minute. Maybe he is onto something. I don't know. You exactly. The NCAA is useless. I don't even know why we still have them. It's just terrible. They have no power. They have no control over anything. Anything that goes wrong, people just sue and get it turned over and go do their own thing anyway. But this calling other players while they're on a team and telling them, I can get you $1 million. Oh, no, I'll get you $2 million if you. Come on, man. I understand that used to be the whole Lane Kiffin, people saying that about him, but this is now Pete Golding. So, I don't know. I don't like the tampering side of it. But I guess until something gets put in place, you're just gonna have to kind of deal with it. It is what it is.
Man, as long as they keep on letting these contracts have these daggone outs to them, man. These contracts got to become binding. You sign with a school, it got to be binding. No contact clause, no nothing. This guy is here. This is where he signed. This is where he's at. You can't contact him. You can't contact his agent. You can't contact his mama, his daddy, his aunt, his cousin. You can't contact nobody. Once this dude is signed here, that's it. Young man, you made this decision. You got to stick with it. And they got to get to the point where they start signing these guys to multiple contracts with buyouts both ways. If the player isn't playing up to snuff, or if the player feel like, hey, this organization ain't doing me the way I want it to be done, got to be some kind of buyout there, man, and some kind of compensation got to change hands whenever two people separate. But like you said, Fanduze, the NCAA, man, has had so many freaking opportunities to just grab the bull by the horns and do the right thing, and they haven't done it yet. They've missed the ball on so many freaking things. For what reason, I have no idea. I don't know why they haven't stepped up and did what they needed to do.
Because they're scared to get sued.
Classic case of them not doing what they need to do.
They're not doing it because they're afraid they're going to get sued.
Yeah, that's one of them. But hell, get sued. You got money. You can outlast anybody in court. You can outlast anybody.
Agreed, man. But I don't even just blame the NCAA though, man. I blame the coaches, man. Yeah. We having these coaching conventions and they over here talking about 9 games before red shirt. Do y'all not know what that's going to open up? Y'all giving these kids tape so they can get $2 million in the portal. Like, why would y'all do that? You know, it's a lot of stuff that just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, a 9-game red shirt is insane.
All you're doing is giving the kid film. That's his job. That's his job application right there. There's no point to even high school recruit anymore.
Right. I mean, what was it back? I know we're on a 4-game now. You can play in 4 regular season games and still keep your red shirt. I like the old rule, and I'm sorry, I'm old school. You touch the field as a freshman, your red shirt's burned. That's. I mean, I get medicals. Don't get me wrong. I get a guy blows a knee out in fall practice or something. I get that one. But if you send a freshman out there, a Malik Tony, we're going to use him as an example, and he goes out and plays in 4 games this year, you can still redshirt him. And you can pick and when the playoffs start, those games don't even count towards the redshirt 4 games. So you could have played him in 4 games to see what you got, redshirt and the rest of them, and then play him all through the playoffs and still got a redshirt from him. I don't know.
And Sean, that's the only reason why I like the 4 games, because now that money is involved, you got to see what you got. And there's no way to really do that in practice, bro. You got to see live game reps.
And I do. I get that part with the money involved. I get that 100%. But just because, I mean, I get it, don't mean I like it, but I get it.
Facts. But this is where we at, huh?
Right. I mean, you either adapt or you get shoved under the rug, you know? So,
yeah.
I don't like it. I'm going to deal with it. I still love college football. You know, I hate having to relearn my roster every year now, but it is what it is, you know?
I mean, I think in reality, they probably want 5 years of eligibility. Why don't y'all just ask for that? Why don't you talk about that? Why are you even talking from 4 to 9? I mean, that's some BS. We already know that that's BS. Just say I want 5 years of eligibility for these college athletes and leave it at that. Maybe you would have came up a little bit better, because ultimately that's what you want. But I like the 4 game rule now. I like that because the fact you got 4 games at least on your schedule where you can get those guys a lot of really good playing time to really get to see what you got going forward, and you might be able to keep them beyond that first year when they know that they have a really good chance of playing that following year. Because I think a lot of teams had true freshmen on their teams who they signed highly out of high school, and those guys got that bread, did not play much, and now they bolted somewhere else to get more playing time, which is okay. But the fact that you have recruited this guy and paid him all this money to come to your school, and he didn't get to play, you didn't get your money's worth. I think they're going to have to do something about that, man. It got to be at least a 2-year contract with a 2-way buyout in that second year. And then I also believe that they need to start giving guys only one time to transfer. And then your second one could be if you're a grad transfer. I think this is just way too much movement. Guys been on 4 and 5 teams in their career. I think that's way too much.
Yeah, the kid Calhoun that we got out of the portal started at Michigan. I think he went to Utah. Then he went to Bama. Now he at Ohio State. He a Ohio kid. 4 teams in 5 years.
4 teams in 5 years. Yeah, that's a bit much, Anything else y'all want to add before we wrap up? We coming up on almost on an hour at 58 minutes, 59 minutes. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap up?
I just want a quick. First off, I mean, look, my boys from A&M, we sitting in first place right now. In basketball. So Bucky ball is a real thing. Quick opinion: who is the best conference in basketball? Do you really think? Last year, it seemed the SEC was the team everybody talked about being the best conference in basketball. I mean, I like the Big 12.
I like the Big 12. I like the Big 12 too. I was gonna say the Big 12. Yeah, I like the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I watched enough yet.
Yeah.
But from what I did watch, bro, I'm gonna say the ACC this year. I like the ACC. Well, I mean, I think the depth in the ACC is a little different than everywhere else. I think the Big 12 is top heavy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're putting, BYU, Houston, Tech, Iowa State, So I think the Big 12 is pretty top heavy. I was just curious on everybody's thought because, everybody does it. Is it the SEC or Big 10 in football? Well, is it, what is it in basketball? I mean, obviously we wouldn't do it for baseball because we all know what the biggest conference in baseball is. That's a given. But basketball is always just a little crazier to kind of, because, I mean, you got a bunch of teams in the Big 10 that are looking good too. Nebraska's, So, I mean, to me, this is a pretty wide open basketball season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That point guard for Iowa State, I like him. I think he's a pure point guard.
Yep.
Yeah. He's nice.
Yeah.
I think all of the conferences are playing some really, really good basketball and have an argument to be the best one. All four of the power fours, and then you got the Big East that's got nice competition too. So I think it's still a Big East, right? Is it still a Big East?
Yeah, that's where UConn is at. Yeah, UConn and St. John's, Villanova over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
ACC now. That's right.
I think that makes for good basketball when you got those kind of conferences that are all got some parity to them, and if you were to interchange them, you would still be getting some good basketball. So the tournaments will be really, really good this upcoming year. Yeah. Anything else before we wrap up?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure that you look and check out all of those channels that are scrolling at the bottom. That's every last one of us who participate on this channel. You got our man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10. You got our man SEC Sham. You got our man Parlay Poe of the Blitzburg Podcast. We got our man FanDuel Zaya of the One Take Podcast. We got our man T1 of City League TV. Post Game of the Post Game 86 Podcast. And then we got WTP for Life, which is WTP Sports Dudes. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share our videos, and we'll see you again as early as Tuesday at 7:45. We might even be back on Monday, so hit that notification bell so you'll know anytime we're going live. We appreciate your support, and thank you so much for tuning in. All right, y'all. Peace.
Cancel school for the rest of the week, Dr. Chapman.
Rest of the week.